very pleasant Monday afternoon to you. Welcome to your lunchtime and welcome to the CHGO Bears Podcast presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook. Download the app. Use that promo code CHGO when you sign up. And yes, it's a big day. Jalen Hurts getting paid. More importantly, though, Kevin Warren, first day on the job. Carman and Nicholas Moreano with you on the CHGO Bears Podcast. Adam Hogue off today, back tomorrow. Nick, what were you doing at 5:47 this morning?
Mark, I was still sleeping. I got up at 6, though, so he beat me by a couple of minutes. What about yourself? What were you doing at 5:47?
Yeah, we're showing, for our audio listeners, we're showing Kevin Warren walk into Halas Hall. The sun is not out. It's 5:47 in the morning. He walks right up to the George Halas statue, stares at it weirdly, and then proceeds to walk into the building. There's snow coming down. He's wearing, I think that's a black trench coat that he has on. And then when he walks into his office, nobody's there to greet him on the first day with a fresh bagel and a schmear. No one there with the coffee. I want to let the Bears know. I mean, I'm very busy here at CHGO, but at 5:47 in the morning in the future, I would have time to be the designated greeter for Kevin Warren, to welcome him into the office and say hello and get him going in on his day. He's got a very fancy conference room in his office. He's got a great Bears chair that apparently Lawrence Benedetto, our fine producer, talent extraordinaire, gave to one of his buddies at a prior work stop. And he's wearing the tie. He's got the suit on, and he's ready to go, and the Bears helmet is behind him. I feel better about my Bears life here, Nick.
Yeah, anyone that walks in with a trench coat, I know you mean business. You're about to start, your job right. You're going to get down to figuring out everything that's wrong with the Bears and making it right again. But it is a significant day, right, Mark? It's the start of something new here in the Bears organization. Players are reporting for offseason workouts as well. So big day on this April 17th, this Monday to start off the week.
We had a big day here at CHGO, too. Bears After Dark tonight. And in the back end of this show, we're going to get into what you would like Kevin Warren to do first and foremost, and as he takes over the reins from Ted Phillips, as he becomes the man that is in charge not only of stadium development, but also just leading the Bears to hopefully their first Super Bowl. Damn it, since 1985 that they win. All right. So big news in the NFL world today with Jalen Hurts getting an enormous contract, and one that is being widely just all the love given to Howie Roseman, the Eagles general manager, who many consider the best GM in the business, getting ahead of the curve, getting his deal done before Joe Burrow is going to be set up to get paid a lot. Same thing with Justin Herbert. Lamar's still sitting out there. I don't think that's as relevant, but the market's always just going up and up and up and up. And here comes Hurts getting the significant dollars here, $179.304 million in guaranteed money. There's always weird stuff with the NFL. It's $110 million fully guaranteed at signing, $126.5 million fully guaranteed by March 2024, $179 million in total guarantees, $255 million overall. Bottom line, highest paid player in NFL history. That's where Jalen Hurts is coming in with a $255 million 5-year extension. And you can't help it as a Bears fan think, what does this mean for paying Justin Fields in the future?
Yeah, Mark, I think, it provides not necessarily a blueprint, right? Because obviously Jalen Hurts was not in 2021, his stats, how he finished the season. There's a lot of speculation of what he could be as a quarterback, but then you surround him with the right weapons and you see what he does for the Philadelphia Eagles organization. Is able to, one, take them to the Super Bowl, but does so being just one of the best quarterbacks in the league. But if you're a Bears fan looking at it from, this vantage point, it does give you maybe some hope of what can be. Not what is guaranteed to be by any means, but what can be if you're starting to surround Justin Fields with the right weapons. He gets another year in Luke Getsy's system, is able to become more of the quarterback that, I think Bears fans still envision him being. And I think that's what this maybe provides is like, okay, look what happens when you give a young quarterback weapons. You can see what he's actually capable of. And that's what I'm thinking. A lot of Bears fans, even us here at CHGO, are wondering if Justin Fields can be like the next Jalen Hurts and maybe even better than that in terms of a talent perspective. But a lot of work needs to be done, Mark, but it does provide like some, I guess, again, a little bit of clarity of it can be done. Just there's a lot of individual effort, a lot of talent that needs to be surrounded by the quarterback, and a scenario that works ideally for the quarterback coach that can make this all happen.
See some of our amazing regulars in the comments there. Crystal, if everything goes well, Fields' contract will potentially be a great one. I think, and Crystal's saying, I think, greater than what Jalen gets. It's listen, even the most optimistic Bears fan out there. If Greg Braggs was on this show right now, and Braggs will be here for Bears After Dark tonight. Even you, Nick, you're an optimistic Bears fan. I don't think anybody thinks the Bears are going to the Super Bowl next year, per se. So he's not going to quite have the resume that Jalen had going, to get his new paper. But it is a reminder that it is going to be expensive. And unfortunately for the Bears, when they drafted Justin Fields, they were in the middle of the final year of Matt Nagy, so that's a wasted year. Now you have a first year of Ryan Poles, who's tearing down the team and eating dead cap money because that's what he absolutely had to do. So I'm not going to call last year a wasted year, but it's certainly not an ideal year. And now you're going into year 3 with 7,000 needs, and you're attacking some of it. You're doing what you can, DJ Moore at the top of that list, but you're still not going to be going into year 3 in any ideal scenario. And so the Bears are behind the curve. There's just no way around it. And so there's an enormous amount of pressure, I suppose, on Fields and the Bears to, make a collective step this year so you can feel comfortable in paying him. And the other side of it is it might actually, in some weird way, maybe benefit the Bears because Hurts or Fields won't have quite the resume to get paid like all these quarterbacks are getting paid. So maybe you get him on a slightly more friendly team deal than you would have been if you were all set up. And then he explodes and he becomes the greatest value in Bears history. That would be the ideal scenario, the way I see it.
Yeah, Mark, that would be the ideal scenario too. And I'll say this, like obviously when you look at the Eagles situation last year, you have the 2 top wide receivers in Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, both going over 1,000 yards. You have a top 5 rusher in Miles Sanders, but then you also have one of the best offensive lines in football. When we're looking at the Bears situation, even heading into 2023, 10 days before the draft, you do have DJ Moore. That's a nice asset as your number 1 wide receiver. Darnell Mooney, Chase Claypool. The wide receiver room is looking a lot better than what it did last year. You still want to see what Deontay Foreman can do as a running back there. But the offensive line is the big difference maker between what I'm looking at, like the Bears situation right now and what the Eagles was a season ago. But there's still the draft, so you can still add some good players there. But that's not to say that with the group that is currently here, you're going to see a better evaluation of Justin Fields, no doubt. I think that, too, is ultimately what's also in the goal of Ryan Poles, Matt Eberflus, as they're looking at 2023. They just want to know, can Justin Fields be their guy and be that guy that they feel comfortable with, still building around and adding more of those pieces as they continue this rebuild, right, for the Bears organization. But still a lot of work to be done, but that's a good situation to be in, Mark, right, that you have to pay your quarterback all this money because he's one of the best players on the team. You have a guy that you believe in and that you can move forward with. I think that's a situation the Bears would ideally want to be in.
Excellent point, Nick. You just brought it up to me. You got me excited about paying Justin Fields tons of money because you absolutely have to pay him because he just is that good. And everything else, by the way, you teed up around the offensive line takes me to a very important announcement, which, of course, is our draft party coming up a week from Thursday and Friday. That's right. There's 2 nights we're going to be out at Joe's. $60 to get in the door. Joe's Bar, for those in the audio space, 940 West Weed Street. Goose Island's going to be flowing. There's the honk honk. Look, the price gets you your drink package. And look, we're, just for the record, we are here to hang out and give hugs and have fun. And this is not some, we're the price to get in is to cover your drink fees, and so you can just hang out. We're not obviously trying to get rich on the big draft party here. So come and hang out with us. We want to spend the draft with you, and everybody who signs up to just show you the love for coming out. We are giving you a CHGO Midway shirt, the Bear incredible CHGO shirt, which is one of my favorites, is included in your ticket price. So t-shirts aplenty, drinks aplenty. Nick's not going to be there, but we'll be there in spirit because he's going to be out at Halas Hall, but I'll be there, and Adam Hogue will be there, and our friend Corey Wooten will be there, Will DeWitt will be there, Kevin Kadick will be there, Jake Flanagan will be there, everybody else, a lot of people from CHGO. I don't know who, I'm sure they'll be showing up as well. So it's going to be a great time next Thursday and next Friday. And
yeah, Mark, real quick,
yes.
For people who have watched the draft at home, like, it is an awesome experience, even if you're just watching at home, but wouldn't it be so, like, a different experience if you're around a bunch of Bears fans, you're all watching and waiting to see what the Bears do, and you get to experience it together. So if you're a little hesitant about going out for the draft, maybe this being your first time, this would be an awesome opportunity to just do that. Be among a bunch of Bears fans. Bring your friends along too. It's going to be a great time. Like Mark said, I won't be there, but I know everybody that's going to go out and hang out is going to have an amazing time. So definitely think about it.
And Mubs, you don't get out on that if Nick's not going, I ain't going. That's painful, Mubs. Mubs in the chat. I'm going to be there. I'm representing Nick.
I'll probably like tune in, like you'll probably bring me in from Halas Hall. You'll hear my voice at least. So that should be, if you're hesitant about it, if I'm not going to be there, that should bring you in.
Nick, I wasn't going to tell you, but we have a life-size poster of you that is in production right now, and it actually talks too. So
that's a little weird.
There'll be plenty of Nick at Joe's. So come on out. Which, the draft is just getting super super interesting, and there is just a lot of talk around Jalen Carter right now, and the Bears, and rumors. One of my more interesting ones that piqued my interest was the Steelers. Apparently, Football Morning in America had a tidbit in there that one of the best rumors that they've heard is that Pittsburgh is interested in trading up from 17 to 9 to draft Jalen Carter. And then the speculation continues that Mike Tomlin would be the absolute perfect person for Jalen Carter. I find that to be a very interesting question for Bears fans. Would you rather, if Carter is indeed there at 9, which most or many do not expect him to be, going 5 to Seattle or 6 to Detroit, Atlanta's meeting with Carter too, all in front of the Bears. But if he indeed is there at 9, would you rather take Carter and or say that trade was there, or move down with Pittsburgh and get best O-lineman, best whoever that is left at 17? And I just want to clarify something on Jalen Carter, because I've been sitting with myself on this one, Nick. Because I am a second chances, even third chances, perhaps even fourth chances, depending on what's gone wrong with you in life guy. Life is a journey. We are all moving towards our own finish line. We all are hopefully learning and growing along the way. So what I've been saying on the show is that I don't think the Bears will take him. All right. And I don't. My guess is that he is not the type of guy that Ryan Poles, Kevin Warren, George McCaskey, etc., Matt Eberflus are going to bring into the building. That's my guess, strictly a guess. Now, if they do pick him, I will 100% support it, because he is an elite talent, and people are allowed to grow up in life. What he's done is not ideal, showing up out of shape at his pro day and going really fast in a car and having something terrible happen. Not even close to ideal. But is he worthy of an opportunity going forward if he does the right things? And do the Bears feel like they could be the organization that would put him with the right support to help him grow up rapidly, to be a huge contributor, hopefully on and off the field? That's interesting. And if he turns into this mature, now, growing into 23, 24, 25-year-old, giving back, if we do this in a utopian way, I mean, that would be a great story. And he could be wrecking offenses all across the league and helping the Bears win football games. Again, I don't think the Bears will do it, but I want to be clear. Like, I'm not going to be sitting here saying that this is an absolutely horrible decision. I just don't think they will. But that's if they do it, then I will be extremely interested to see what level of support they're going to give this guy and how he's going to use it to be the best Jalen Carter that he can be.
Yeah, Mark, for me, I think over the past now 2 weeks, I've been coming more around to the idea that if Jalen Carter is there, if he's falling, teams are maybe a little hesitant to take him and are not wanting to risk, a top 10 pick on a guy that has some red flags off the field, and he's there at 9. I think the Bears would take a chance on Jalen Carter. But the thing is, I get the whole idea, if that rumor about the Steelers wanting to come up to go get him, that is a great, I think, infrastructure to put him with. Mike Tomlin, he seems like a guy that doesn't take a lot of shit. So if you're Jalen Carter, he's going to put you straight. And if you're looking for a trade back compensation, not only would I think you'd get 17, but they also have 32. The Bears pick, right? That the one that they used to go get Claypool. That's an area in the part of the draft, the back, after 15 there, where I think you can get a higher pick like that. And that's ideally what the Bears would like to get in return if you're going to trade back that far to 17. But the idea of Jalen Carter being on a Chicago Bears is something that, Dane Brugler, he had his 7-round mock draft come out today, which is an insane thing to do, but he did it. He had Jalen Carter there for the Chicago Bears to take at number 9. There was actually 7 defensive players in the top 10 in his first round there that went to the teams before him. But I think that's an idea. If he's there at 9, I would not be shocked if the Bears drafted Jalen Carter, because he would be an immediate impactor on that defense. And imagine what it does to the 2 linebackers they just signed. It makes their jobs easier. That young secondary that was balling out towards the end of the year, that makes their job a lot easier. Now, obviously, he's got to transition from what he was doing at Georgia to the NFL, have more consistency, have more of a motor in terms of when, as the game goes on, you saw him later in games kind of disappear, but Jalen Carter's a force. And if he's there at 9, I would think the Bears would take him.
I'm pausing because I'm kind of shocked that Nick is saying that he thinks the Bears will take him. Daniel Trump, I see him in the chat. Why trade back? I don't understand taking impact player at 9. And if you're drafting Jalen Carter at 9, it's because you think he's going to be an impact player. But the reason why you would trade back is multifold. First of all, 9 to 17, I hope you're getting more than just the 32 pick back. I hope if you're doing that, I hope you're getting a first-round pick from the Steelers next year, which I would think, considering the Steelers roster, would be right around where they're at right now. Be getting a pick 15 to 20. I don't think Kenny Pickett and company are going to rise up and be some incredible team, and that now you're late in the first round. I'd say that the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to continue to be the Mike Tomlin Pittsburgh Steelers, competitive but not great. So pair that with wherever the Bears are next year. Now you got 3 first-round picks next year. Mm-hmm. You are well set up. To go back to 17 to get to 32, it doesn't excite me as much. But look, the reason why you would do it, there's so much information out there right now, but one of the things I came across today, overthecap.com, 38%, according to overthecap.com, 38% of the top 10 picks in the NFL draft have signed second deals with teams. This is dating back to 2011. And just 1/3 of those picked 11 through 20 have re-signed with teams. All right? So 1/3 from 11 to 20 and 38% in the top 10. All right? It is an inexact science, extremely inexact. If we rewind back, the Bears did well in 2020. Cole Kmet at 43, Jalen Johnson at 50 in the second round. You know who was 53? Nick.
That draft, would that be Jalen Hurts?
That would be Jalen Hurts, Nick. That would be the MVP candidate. Have we been looking for a quarterback in this city since the city was built? Before the fire, pretty much. So,
Basically.
I mean, and the Bears did well that year. They're going to, I mean, if you had to bet, and they should, I would extend Cole Kmet. I'd extend Jalen Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
So those are, considering the numbers that we just gave you, 38% in the top 10, a third, 11 to 20. These are 2 second-round draft picks. They're going to get second contracts, hopefully with the Bears. That's a hell of a job. Credit to you, Ryan Pace.
Yeah, Mark, I mean, I think there's a lot of sense, though, like with trading back even at 9, because if you were to go, even in the, 15 to 20 range, like, I think ideally you could still get one of the tackles that you like a lot on this draft. And then you get that draft capital for later because you're getting more opportunities to get still impact players. Like, just because you're not in the top 10 doesn't mean you're not getting an impact player. You're going to get somebody that's most likely going to start on this Bears team this season. And if you can get draft capital for also this year, and you're obviously looking in 2024, then you're just giving yourself more opportunities to fill all this. There's still a lot of holes on this roster, you guys. So it still makes a lot of sense for me if the Bears were to move out of that top 10, because not only are you getting an impact player still, but you're also just getting more opportunities to get more later. Like, it makes a lot of sense to me if the Bears want to go that route. So it just depends who's available. If no Jalen Carter's there, Tyree Wilson's gone, the top 2 corners are gone, and then you have all 3 tackles still available at 9. Like, yeah, I think that's an opportunity where Ryan Poles says, let's trade back. Let's see how this board still falls, and let's still get an impact player if a team is willing to move up and go get a guy that they really like.
You think the top 2 corners are going to be gone at 9?
By 9? Yeah, I think that's a real possibility. If we're looking at, again, just how Dane Brugler had it today, like Christian Gonzalez goes to the Lions at 6. They just lost Okuda. And then you also had Devin Witherspoon, who I was just watching his tape this past weekend. Mark, if the Bears go Devin Witherspoon at 9,
yeah,
I'm going to be – I get it. I get it. That dude is going to be awesome in the NFL. But he went number 7. So those are the top 2 corners. And then they obviously took Carter in that at 9 in that draft. But yeah, I could see a scenario where two of the top 2 corners are gone before the 9th pick.
All right, I'd be extremely surprised, but then again, I'd be surprised. I'd be surprised if Carter got to 9, which is also predicted in that same thing. I think Jalen. We can run through this again on another show. I don't want to do it right now, but the whole point of it though is what you're getting at. Look, I'm happy with Paris Johnson Jr. I'm happy with Peter Skoronski. I'm happy with Broderick Jones. One of them is going to be at 17. And so I will take the third guy and go that direction. And or if they're all gone, then okay, maybe I'm going off the board and I'm taking a playmaker. Some interesting stuff on Jackson Smith and Jigba that we can get for a second. By the way, but I do want to remind you, there's so much going on right now. NBA playoffs. Thank you, by the way, DraftKings. You already want to pay me out on my Lakers bet. What'd I tell you, Nick? 14-1. They want to pay me double on my bet already that the Lakers are going to win the Western Conference. Should I take the out right now and take my dollars? I think I'm going to wait it out because the West is wide open and the Lakers are healthy and it's making me nauseous. But look, we're not talking about DraftKings right now. We are talking about Fubo TV and their 140 live channels of sports and shows and movies and news that you can stream live to your TV from any device. The most Chicago sports for the lowest price. Look at those Cubbies going out west, taking 2 or 3 from the Dodgers. And don't worry, White Sox fans, they're going to turn it around at any second here. That's right. You get NBC Sports Chicago, you get Marquee, and you get a 7-day free trial. No contract, no cable, no hassle. Sign up, starts watching 1,000 hours of the cloud DVR, included at no extra charge. NFL Draft on the ESPN NFL Network, NHL Draft on ESPN, NHL NBA Playoffs, all of it. Watch it there. And, use the link in the description to sign up for 15% off your first month of Fubo Pro. Fubo Pro. Thank you very much. Fubo Pro.
Fubo's great, and so you guys is Shady Rays. You can take on the sun with gear built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered for the warm weather. Not today; it's snowing, and it was like, very sunny and beautiful out this past week. But I'll get back to that. And you can use your Shady Rays, which have premium polarized shades at an affordable price. Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company that offers a world-class product that's just as good as any expensive pair we've worn here at CHGO. They have durable frames and extremely clear optics for outdoor adventures. Like I tell you guys every single time, I keep my Shady Rays in my car because I know I have durable and reliable sunglasses for anything that I'm doing on that particular day. And what's awesome, you guys, if you lose or break your pair, even on day one, they told us they'll send you a brand new pair, no questions asked. Wear your Shady Rays with confidence because they have your back long after your purchase. And exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is going to give you the best deal of the season. Go to shadyrays.com and use code CHGO for 50% off 2 or more polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself. The shades are rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people. And one more thing, we're talking about all this Bears coverage right now. And as you know, CHGO Bears offseason coverage is brought to you by ComEd Energy Efficiency Program. Learn more at comed.com/poweringbiz.
There we go. Congratulations, by the way, are in order for, that's right, number 18, Dante Pettis, back on a 1-year deal. There you go, Dante. We appreciate you. 27 years old. Played in all 17 games last year, and that's when I saw him, by the way, in the locker room one week with his ankle the size of, the planet Mars. It was enormous, but he made it out by Sunday. 7 starts last year, 19 passes caught. That's not a lot for 245 yards, so why are they signing him? Well, he did get in the end zone 3 times, and I think we're looking mostly at he looked great returning punts. So Dante back on a 1-year deal. They already signed EQ for a 1-year deal. They got DJ Moore. You have draft picks. It's a little bit interesting to me, the Dante part, which doesn't seem like a big deal, but when you factor in the Velus Jones Jr. element of Dante taking that job, and maybe they end up cutting Dante, but bringing back Dante Pettis was the news of the day outside of Kevin Warren showing up in the building on his first day.
Yeah, Mark, too. I think this makes sense for the Bears. Like, the role Dante Pettis had to play last season wasn't ideal for him, right? When you have a guy like Darnell Mooney go down, you don't have DJ Moore at this point. You're asking guys like Equanimous St. Brown and Dante Pettis to play one spot above where they're supposed to be at on a wide receiver depth chart. So they're now moved up in the progressions for Justin Fields. And that just ideally wasn't where a guy like Dante Pettis or even Equanimous St. Brown should have been. But now that you have more guys that are at the top of the roster, like, I could, as a 4th or 5th option, you should be okay with Dante Pettis. And like you said, the punt returning, he looked the most confident at the position. When we saw a guy like Velus Jones Jr., there was some hesitancy there. And with Dante Pettis, he knew what to do at that position. And actually, too, the 3 touchdowns that he caught last season was the most among wide receivers. And I know, like, that shouldn't be that should be blown away, hopefully, in this 2023 season. But look, I get why the Bears made this signing, and it doesn't even guarantee that he's a lock to make this team if they were to go draft a guy and, like, someone ascends. Like, but this is a guy that obviously knows the system. You bring him back. He does slot in to be your number 1 punt returner. But you had an interesting question here, Mark. Like, what does this mean for a guy like Velus Jones Jr., who was supposed to be brought in to be your return specialist? At the punt returner spot, that doesn't seem to be his spot. But at kick returner, I could see that. But for him, where does he get mixed into the whole depth chart of the wide receiver room now? Because there are a lot of guys now in this wide receiver room for 2023.
I mean, I'm seeing in the chat here from I Relentless that Velus needs to take this personal. That's not the personality of Velus Jones Jr., for the record. Velus he believes in himself. He is sort of a whatever's meant to be guy. I don't think the Bears are looking to cut Velus. This is a 3rd-round pick, 74 overall. granted, an older rookie, but they certainly didn't draft him to cut him in his second year. Did they see enough this year that, like, yep, got that wrong, we're going to cut ties? I mean, that's where it's ultimately feels like it's heading. But is Bayless just a, kick returner, gadget guy in 2023? That would be my guess. You do get into a numbers game, though. Somebody's not going to be on this roster. So, it's a long way from here. But I'm just, if I'm Bayless today and I'm living in reality, doesn't feel good that they're bringing back Dante Pettis. It just doesn't. Now, does it also mean, by the way, that they're not as interested in drafting a wide receiver this year at all? Do they look at that room as finished? You're shaking your head no, Nick.
No, I don't think it should, Mark. And again, you look at like the deals that Equinemius St. Brown and a Dante Pettis signed. It's, they're only guaranteed for this next season, right? So they're not looking at long-term solutions. And ideally, if the board falls right where they see a rookie wide receiver that they like, that they can keep on a rookie contract that can be more productive than those two guys, then they do it. No questions asked. But I think it would be really disappointing. And it could be the scenario that Velus Jones Jr. is in if he is just a kick returner and kind of gadget specialist on offense. Because you don't draft that in the third round. That shouldn't be. That was the only wide receiver that Ryan Poles drafted. Ideally, when he's looking at it, this would probably be one of your deep threats that you would have on an offense. So if he's just like your gadget guy that's going to give you a jet sweep or two on a game, one vertical route a game, and maybe draw a pass interference call, like that's not what you draft in the third round. You can find those guys with those traits later on in the draft. But hopefully for Velus Jones Jr., he sees this as just, okay, I got to earn my time, my place, and my opportunities in this offense, because Dante Pettis knows this offense, and so does Velus Jones Jr. So it's like when you go 11 personnel, Mark, most like your three wide receivers on the field, DJ Moore, Darnell Mooney, Chase Claypool. So it's when they go 4 or 5 wide is when you're going to be seeing who's actually on top of the depth chart. But I think it would be extremely disappointing, and Bears fans should be disappointed too if Velus is just, in especially year 2, a gadget guy who returns kicks. Like, you want to see more out of a third-round draft pick, in my opinion.
And that also that feels like the best-case scenario for him.
Yeah.
It's the one question, or one of the questions, we should say, that is kind of remaining on the Ryan Poles resume with the Bears, which, hey, we're Poles people here, believe in Ryan, not going down that road at all. However, swings on playmakers, Chase Claypool, Velus Jones, right now, April 17th, that's 0 for 2. Now, can that become a 1 for 2 this season with Chase? And he's, getting comfortable with Justin Fields, going to Bulls games, working out, and understanding the offense, and all that's going to turn. Maybe, hopefully. But right now, that's 0 for 2. And it's just interesting. I don't think the Bears are the least bit going to, even if they traded back to 17 and all the offensive linemen went off the board, I still don't think they would go for a wide receiver. But there was an interesting note in the Football Morning in America piece with Peter King today talking about Jackson Smith-Njigba, who he writes, and I quote, "There's not an overriding negative on Smith-Njigba, an excellent receiver prospect. The Ohio State football season was 5 months long last year, including practice, and Smith-Njigba got a left hamstring injury early, played 60 snaps total in 3 games, and never got on the field in the last 10 weeks. He runs a 4.48 40. I'm not the only one wondering how is Smith-Njigba the top-rated receiver on so many boards with 10 days to go." So I thought that was interesting. And I've had the same thoughts, like, It's interesting to me that this guy did not play and did not run at the combine. Now, did have his pro day, all off of a hamstring injury. It's about to get cracked all over the NFL field. I think it's got to make you at least a little bit nervous.
Yeah, Mark, for me, like, I think all of us here at CHGO, we like Jackson Smith-Njigba, right? He's going to be a good player in the NFL, but I wouldn't be overly upset, mad if the Bears, like, he was on the board, he's there at 9. Okay, the Bears don't take him. Maybe they trade back. He's there at 17. They don't take him. I wouldn't be mad if they don't, right? He's going to be a good player, but I think there are other wide receivers in this draft too that the Bears can select that are also going to help out this room. And like that does look, he hasn't played a lot. He hasn't played a lot of football recently, right? So I think you got to factor into those things if you're looking for guys that can come in immediately impact. If you're looking to draft a wide receiver high in this draft, and look, I'm saying this as a Jackson Smith and Njigba fan. Love his game. I know he's going to separate in the middle of the field, create a lot of yards after the catch, but just things you got to consider as you're 9-10 days away from the draft.
And for the record, I'd be excited about it, but I'd be very nervous too. It would be an excited nervous. It'd be like, let's put this into dating terms, Nick. It'd be like the really attractive human being, but kind of a wild card. Don't know what you're going to get every day. And not from a personality standpoint, not from, it's not the same thing as the Jalen Carter situation, which would also be like that. But this is from we got the concern here is the health. The full package could be great, but, we got some growing up to do here. And in this case, we got some healthing up to do. And I've seen in the chat that I'd rather take Bijan than Jackson Smith and Jigba. I watched a bunch of Bijan tape this morning. There's one, there's one highlight against Iowa State where he's in the slot and he goes down the seam and he makes a diving catch and it looks fantastic. And it's like, I don't know, is that guy the best receiver on the Bears instantly or the second best receiver? And then in the backfield, he's getting tough yards. He's doing, he's getting chunk plays. He's doing everything. And Rob Schwartz, I'm not saying Bijan at 9. They're not going to do Bijan at 9. I'm saying you trade down and maybe the linemen that you wanted are not there. You already have another first-round pick next year, and you're looking at a running back that's fallen and maybe a wide receiver that's fallen versus, I don't know, the fourth edge rusher or fourth corner. I'm interested in Bijan at that point for sure.
Yeah, Mark, too. He was also a guy that Peter King wrote about in his article that came out today. And quoting what Peter King wrote, his college coach, Steve Sarkisian, told me Robinson could be a slot receiver regularly in the NFL. I've got the clips to convince you. I probably made a couple of receivers on our team mad last year, Sarkisian said, but he had the best hands on our team. So he is a dual threat. He's a dual threat option that would be a mismatch nightmare for opposing defenses because you can split that guy out wide and have your linebacker on him, and you're just hoping and praying he's not going for 60, on a wheel route or some slant route or whatever. But like he's going to be a mismatch nightmare. He's going to be an amazing player in the NFL. And yeah, he can double up as a wide receiver at times when you need him to be.
I mean, take it for what it's worth. It's his college coach. He's not going to crap on his player. Mm-hmm. But, quote, I'll read it. Bijan, not your typical first or second down back, not your typical third down back. He's an every down back who can run between the tackles, can make people miss on the perimeter, is extremely difficult to get on the ground in space, and can run routes like receivers. He can catch the ball like a receiver. I think the game of the NFL is really fit for his skill set, maybe to some degree a little better than college, quite frankly. And that's like, I don't know, what the 1,000th quote I've seen on Bijan just singing his praises as to what this dude's going to be in the NFL. Someone's getting a good player at some point. I will say, though, like in the tapes that I've watched, I haven't seen the one piece of running where he busts through in an insane way, Barry Sanders level way, at least like, elusiveness, and then all of a sudden, boom, gone. Like that little piece, I maybe it's out there. I'm sure it is, but I've seen a lot more just like incredibly tough, grindy runs, and almost doing it. And then you can see he's comfortable catching screen passes. He's comfortable lining up in the slot. He's physical. He's fast. All of it. So that would be trade down, draft Bijan. Bears fans would go nuts. I think they would absolutely love it. There would be they'd be standing outside Ryan Poles' house cheering if that actually happened.
Mark, I'm going to send you real quickly, and you can look it up in the Bears Slack page. Just see if this just qualifies for. Look, it's not quite Barry Sanders-esque, but if it kind of works. Which, if you are a part of the Die Hard and you're looking at our CHGO draft board, I actually put this in over the weekend, I think, but I just sent it in the Bears beat. But then another guy that I want to talk about as you're kind of looking at that real quick is see if that qualifies, Mark.
No.
Pierce Skoronski. No, like the little shiftiness, the boom. I know. I didn't say it was exactly, but there's some shiftiness. There's some playmaking ability in the traffic area where he makes things happen.
I mean, that the last one in that clip is kind of it. I've seen all the shift. I'm Nick. I'm in. I've been singing Bijan's praises. I'm totally in. I'm talking about. Maybe it's like this it's cool. It's awesome. I mean, he's all over the map. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see these, and of course, the stream is bumping it out. I mean, zoom going left, boom back right. He's got all of that stuff.
Dumb.
And the last one, it's at midfield, and he busts through, and then there's the whole team's chasing him. But I'm not. Clearly, he can do it. I'm just talking about the run one person over, and then like the corner is chasing him, and he's pulling away, and he's faster than everybody. I mean, that's the elite running back, right? But he's got the speed. I get it. I don't think I could.
He's gonna be awesome. He's gonna be fun to watch. I cannot wait.
I've been on him for a long time. I'm just pointing out the sort of the one little clip that I'm looking for. I haven't. I'm sure he can do it, but I haven't seen it. And things I would be betting on between Jalen Carter, Jackson Smith-Njigba, Bijan Robinson, any of the three being on the Bears, that would be a no, and no.
Yeah.
Right?
I agree with that, Mark. Yeah.
Well, you did, but yeah, so. Cram trying to defend Hoagie's terrible mock draft. When did I do that? What did I do on, when did I, that's.
What did Hogue
has Lucas Van Ness.
Let's go. Let's go, Iowa. Yeah.
I think.
What's going on?
JSN in his mock draft number 2. I think.
Mock draft number 2.
It's been a while, but that's what I think.
Okay. I mean,
a lot of mocks.
I might have to review. No disrespect to the Hoagie mocks. Hoagie's doing a phenomenal job. Hoagie's been delving into the draft to levels that are just incredibly impressive. Right, Nick? I see it on your face.
Oh, absolutely. Real quickly, let's hit on one of the last players that I think gets mocked a lot to the Bears, and again, who was also mentioned, Peter King's article, Pierce Skoronski, and I'll read verbatim just kind of what he had about him. Pierce Skoronski is an interesting case. A Northwestern tackle has a dreaded short arm plague, and 2 teams in the top 10 see him now as a guard. So what? Guard Chris Lindstrom got drafted 14th by the Falcons in 2019, and he's now a cornerstone player in Atlanta. Ditto Zach Martin, 16th in Dallas, and with a slightly smaller exclamation point, Quentin Nelson, 6th in Indy. All got second contract. If Skoronski's a great guard, getting picked 9th or 12th or 15th is absolutely fine. I think it's interesting, though, top 10, 2 teams see him as a guard in there. I'm just trying to think the teams that maybe need offensive linemen. You got the Bears that are there. And you could possibly look at Detroit if they're looking to move some pieces around at the right tackle position. But if I'm looking at it, like if you're the Bears, length is a priority at the tackle position. And so for me, like, I think Pierce Skoronski is awesome. Probably the most consistent, best offensive lineman in this draft, but just not the tackle that the Bears are ideally looking for because of, again, those dreaded short arms, as Peter King writes in his latest article here. But, teams are looking at him and moving the inside just like a lot of other people are. And he should be great at that position as well.
Look, if they draft Peter Skoronski, my reaction will be something like, and that I'm not going to be jumping up and down. Then I'll scream, "Go Cats!" Then I'll say it makes a whole lot of sense. I don't. I'm actually. Hogue has been out there yelling Skoronski the loudest of all the offensive linemen because his floor is a guard and probably a very good one. And to everything that you just read with Peter King, okay, a stud guard at worst case scenario, that's gonna help the Bears win football games. So
Yeah.
I don't think they're drafting Peter Skoronski from everything that we've been hearing. And who the hell knows what they're going to do because they're pretty quiet over there, but it just does not seem like Skoronski is going to be their guy. But I'm warming more up to let's bring the Wildcat in. How sweet would that be? NU, Maine South, right to Soldier Field. Come on, baby. Let's go. Which reminds me, by the way, Nick, shout out to Mike Conlon, who ran into me on the street over the weekend, just said hello. You say hello to Carm. I take your name. Conlon, hanging out in the River North area over the weekend, and so we had a nice little chit-chat. Conlon, I don't know why you came on my mind when I just got to Bears and Skoronski, but a shout-out to you, so thanks for saying hello, my friend. You got one too there, buddy?
Yeah. I was at Honey Jam in Downers Grove just having some brunch with a couple buddies. And I just want to give a shout out to Juan, who came up to me, said he loves the podcast and is enjoying everything we're doing at CHGO Bears. But Juan, appreciate that, man. He also enjoyed his breakfast there at Honey Jam. If you haven't been, go check it out. They have all the best things that you can want at about 11 a.m. on a Sunday. It doesn't matter what day. They have great food there, but appreciate you, Juan, for stopping by and saying hello.
What'd you have, Nick?
Well, I had a bunch of stuff, Mark. We got some shareables. They weren't appetized shareables. We got monkey bread. We got some, gosh, I can't remember. It's like
drinking?
Fries are at the bottom.
No
drinking. No drinking. Just water. Then I went to go play golf afterwards, though, Mark, in a golf simulator. God awful. I will never allow those videos to surface on the internet because they are bad. I need a lot of help. A lot of help with the swing, a lot of help with everything that involves golf. So
it would have gone better at the golf, Nick, if you had perhaps at least enjoyed yourself with the official beer of CHGO, Goose Island. CHGO supported, of course, by the Goose Island Beer Company, Chicago's beer since 1988. One of our favorite partners. The beer roster extensive with the Goose IPA, the Tropical Beer Hug, the 312 Wheat Ale, which I have in my fridge right now. Also delicious, the Full Pocket Pills, everyday beer, what the brewers are drinking. I love both the pills and the ale. Grab that ultra fresh brewery exclusive beers at Goose Island's original brew house on Clybourne Avenue in Lincoln Park, or from their tap room on Fulton Street in Westtown. Goose Island Beer Company, Chicago's beer.
Got to get the goose. And, Mark, I just want to have a discussion, a nice chat about our good friends at ComEd. The ComEd Energy Efficiency Program, Mark, is committed to helping families and businesses in the communities they serve, helping manage energy usage and lower energy bills now and into the future.
Nick, ComEd offers a wide variety of incentives on lighting and other efficiency upgrades to commercial, industrial, and public sector customers of all sizes across the territory. ComEd also offers free facility assessments that can help find energy-saving opportunities like for HVAC systems, commercial kitchen equipment, or industrial processes. The list is long.
But, Mark, how does that exactly, with all these things on this list, how does that exactly work, Mark?
Well, Nick, let me tell you. You get an authorized engineer who's a complete stud. He's going to work with you to develop a detailed assessment plan specific to your goals and needs. They're going to sit down with you in person or virtually. It's going to take about 2 hours. And then in the next 3 to 4 weeks, you're going to receive a detailed report on your energy efficiency projects that they can start working on immediately. Each recommendation, of course, will come with estimated energy savings, cost savings, project costs, potential incentives, and a simple payback as well. If you own a business in particular, do not wait. Get started saving money and energy today. For energy saving tips, lighting incentives, or to schedule your free facility assessment, go to ComEd.com/poweringbiz.
Mark, did you say ComEd.com/poweringbiz?
Nick, I did. And that's exactly right. You can schedule it today. All right. Reminder, Bears After Dark coming up tonight. Kevin Warren in the building, which is a huge day in Chicago Bears land. We're going to be asking the question a bunch tonight as to what you would like to see. What's the first thing you would like to see Kevin Warren do? But in the spirit of this fine show, we should get into it. But actually, before we do that, before we ask that question, Lawrence, we got any super chats that we haven't talked about? Because I don't want to, those who are wanting to get in here, I want you in. Edward Elric, $10, the long-time lurker, first-time donor. Congratulations, Edward. You're in here, baby. We appreciate it. Has Poles and Cunningham have a history of picking a running back in the first and second round?
Yeah, they both do, right? With Miles Sanders being a second-round pick when Ian Cunningham was there with the Eagles, and then
Clyde
Edwards-Helaire. Yeah.
For the record, on that Clyde Edwards-Helaire pick, he was taken the same year of Jalen Hurts, which the Chiefs, unlike the Bears, did not need a quarterback at that point because they got the draft right in 2017, and if memory serves, we did not. So there's two examples for you, Edward. But Edward, listen to me and Nick here. First and second round, this particular draft, it ain't happening. They ain't doing it. I don't think so. But if they do, we'll be here to celebrate it.
But it does show that those two guys do value, right? Or like that their previous teams did value the running back position, highly value the running back position. But you're looking at how the Bears, what their needs are, the holes they have, and ideally what can work best for their team moving forward. Yeah, maybe a running back on day 3, maybe the back end of day 2 could work, but probably not as high as what the previous two stops for both the assistant GM and GM would do in this particular draft.
I mean, Tristan Ebner was, a late round pick last year, so there's, I'm not saying that they're not going to draft a running back. I just don't think it's going to be in the first 2 rounds, even though they've got, let's throw 64s in the second round too. They've got 3 picks at the back end of the second round right now, so they do have some flexibility if they want to try to go for a playmaker. We shall see. Anybody else on the list here at the law? From Melbourne, Bartholomew, $4.99. When is Zach Miller coming on the show to talk about his career-ending injury? Justin Fields, he's a fan, and his new music career. Maybe perform a song. Nick, you got contacts with Zach Miller?
I have to check my phone there, Mark. There's so many important contacts in there that maybe Zach Miller's is in there. But I think his music career is, I don't know if taking off's the right word, but he's in it. He's committed, and that's great to see that he has a future obviously outside of football and is able to pursue another passion that he has.
In Melbourne, just because you asked, buddy, and it's a great idea, we take suggestions here at CHGO Bears. Like
Justin Fields likes country music too.
Yeah,
so
Carman be better. I've been taking that suggestion a while for the last day or two. And so I'm working on it there, Melbourne. And we will absolutely try to run down Zach Miller. I actually think Hogue has a contact with Zach Miller, and if not, we can find it. So appreciate that suggestion. And, there's plenty of time for shows with Zach Miller, which I should tell you, by the way, our schedule coming up, we're going to continue on our draft profiles here, which we've been doing. It's going to be a very, very busy time leading up to the draft. We're going to be looking at cornerbacks tomorrow, inside defensive linemen on Wednesday, tight ends and running backs on Thursday. Friday's the Audible show, and we're going to have a mock draft 2-rounder coming up next Monday. And for our diehards out there is a rumor of a happy hour coming down the pipe here at some point, perhaps this week. So, pay attention on the Twitter, pay attention on the show tomorrow. We'll confirm it when it's actually confirmed, but I think we're going to do a happy hour, which that's for your diehard memberships. If you are a diehard, you get to hang out with us on Zoom and ask all the questions and just, live the dream.
Hang out.
check it out at ALLCHGO.com. Nick, as we wrap up here, what do you want Kevin Warren doing on day one?
What do I want Kevin Warren doing on day one? He's there right now at Halas Hall, not too far away from where I'm at. Let's start. I mean, continuing to do what he's already been doing outside, this being his first stage, is continuing to figure out how this new stadium's going to look in Arlington Heights. But also, I think, too, now that all the players are starting to be there at the voluntary or the off-season workout program, like, this is his opportunity still to kind of introduce himself to new faces that are coming into this organization, because he's going to be around for hopefully a long time, getting and establishing like the continued culture that's already at Halas Hall from last season. But it's day one, Mark. You can't solve all the biggest problems on day one, but you can definitely start building it brick by brick right there. Right, Mark?
Right, and brick by brick, the shirts are on the way for those who ordered. I am one of those people, and it's on the way, so I can't wait to wear my brick by brick shirt right here on the show. Whenever that thing comes in, I'll be wearing it. CHGOLocker.com if you want to get yourself a brick by brick shirt or any of our merchandise, which is awesome. And, of course, if you're a diehard, you get that all at a discount. This is what I want Kevin Warren doing. I want him calling up Ryan Poles, not overstepping his bounds. And I want him to ask him critically, what can you tell me about Jalen Carter? What have you learned? You've met with him. He's been in the building. You've met with him twice. Maybe they've already done this. I assume they have. But if he hasn't, I want him to sit down, hear what Poles learned, and also just let him know that if he wants to gamble with Carter and or anyone else for that matter, that I 100% have your back. I will support you. You do not have to worry about me looking cross-eyed if you take a guy with a character issue or if you take a guy with maybe what would not be per se a popular position to be drafted that high. SW Outlander GE with a great one in the chat. Announce Hard Knocks. That's another one. That's another great duty for him. And go sit with George McCaskey and say, hey, I don't know why this has been a thing around here that you guys have tried to avoid, but I think it'd be great for our franchise, and I absolutely want to, if the NFL wants to put us on Hard Knocks, we are not going to shy away from that. We are proud of everything that's going on in this organization, and we are not worried about giving away some minor detail that could possibly take us off chart of being the best damn organization in the NFL. If they want to highlight us, we will do it. I'd love to see that. That's a great one.
Same here. Yeah. I like this comment right here, Novadamus. Kevin Warren better watch the safety videos like we all do in our first day at the office. Imagine that, just sitting down. Here's what you need to do. Those are such those are interesting videos, Mark. I had a bunch of different I've had a bunch of little different jobs throughout my years, and you always got to watch these little safety videos at every stop, and they're tedious.
Those videos, if I may, Nick,
yes.
I don't even want to do this, but those videos are disturbing, is what they are. It's in the world that we're living in today. This is how you get out of the building if there's an active shooter. Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Law, I am sending you a text and a Slack. I probably should have Slacked it, of something that I just want to hit real quick here on the way out, because, it was a historic day. I know. I'm historic day. It's in Slack and it's in text.
Okay.
But so yesterday, Nick.
Oh, and I think I know what this is.
Yeah. So yesterday at 10:50 in the morning, I drove my way up to the North Burbs to some junior high school that I don't even know the name of, and it was the semifinals of my rec league basketball, and I have been in and out with tennis commitments and other busy life stuff. So I've been out of the rotation, but have contributed some, and I'm also not as perhaps skilled as I once was on the hoop court, which, damn it, was fantastic back in my intramural Iowa days when I led the Windy Hill team, Jordan Street, to to the Elite Eight and took on the football team and sped by Tim Dwight, the great punt returner, for a layup to put us up 2-0. All that happened. But those days are in the rearview mirror. But there I am in the back for those watching on YouTube with that beautiful smile for the picked off team that took down the championship yesterday as we won the first game and then won the second. Coach Ken is in the middle there with the basketball. He's one of those guys that comes out and just doesn't play at all and just puts the team together. And he put me in for 3 valuable minutes in the championship game where I was called for a travel, missed an open 3, and in general was just scared of having the basketball in my hand. Once a great point guard, now an aging veteran. But we are champions nonetheless, and you've got to play a role in life. And I am embracing my bench warmer, rec league basketball, pathetic existence with these guys who, for the record, with all due respect, there's maybe 2 basketball players that are any good in that picture. And I'm behind all of them, which is embarrassing. But champions nonetheless, Nick. Congratulations to picked off.
Hell yeah, Mark. I love it. I played some basketball this weekend too. Probably my first 5-on-5 game in probably 6 or 7 months at the YMCA in Northbrook. Got to meet up with a good friend Mason West. We got to hoop a little bit. Shot was off. Not gonna lie, shot was off, but I was dishing out dimes. That's what I'll do first. Like if I can't find my offensive game, I'm gonna make sure everyone who's on my team is gonna get the ball, distribute, no look passes. So I just gotta get back to regularly playing, and I'll be back to my old self, and we'll be good. Hopefully on your level, winning championships. But yeah, good to see that, Mark. Good to see that you guys won and were able to still be out there. Like there was a guy that was playing, and we did a bunch of subs and stuff, which is a little new for me, but he must have been 75, 80, just running up and down the court, Mark. And I'm like, hell yeah. And he told me, hey, youngster, I'm sorry for the bad pass. I'm like, Pete, you're 75, 80 years old. This is amazing. It's okay that it was a low pass, but he had the game-winning shot in one of our games. Go, Pete. And that just kind of shows a dedication and that you could still hoop regardless of the age.
Yeah, and I don't want to defend myself against the chat, but just just for the damn ass record. You know, the Bulls used to hoop at good old Multiplex back in the day before they built their own Berto Center practice court, and now at the Advocate Center in the city. And young Carm in his college career would be on that court in the summertime when Bulls would play pickup. And BJ's coming down the court. I'm running with him. And Armstrong kicks it to Carm on the right wing. And I rise up to shoot it. While that ball's in the air, you know what BJ said? Yeah, that's right. He said 8-4. He counted that bucket before he went in because he knew that Carm was going to drain that shot. So don't get it twisted now. I may be a backup at this particular veteran age. But I still, for the record, if I started playing every day, I'd get that thing back, and I might just do it. So don't be barking up this hoop tree. There's still gas left in this tank somewhere. I've just chosen to put it on the tennis court. Now, back in the day, I could do both. These days,
you gotta pick and choose. Pick and choose.
It's one or the other. This body can't. I can't play tennis one day, hoops the next, and then tennis the third. That's just not going to work. Unless I, completely give up working and just all I do is spend time with a trainer and massages and whatnot, which is really what I want to do. But you got to make a living and stuff. All right, we're back for After Dark tonight. Congratulations to Kevin Warren. Great to see him in the building at 547. Appreciate everybody jumping in today. And a week from Thursday, baby.
Later tonight.
It's coming. So if you haven't gotten your ticket for the draft party, we would love to see you. You get a free tea, the sweet CHGO tea, and and all you can drink. Take an Uber, live the dream. April 27th and or 28th, or come out both nights. $60 gets you in. Joe's Bar, 940 West Weed Street. Hope to see you there. Nick,
Mark,
I had fun with you, buddy.
It was a good time. I'll see you later tonight.
We'll see you later tonight. Thank you, Lawrence. Have a great day, everybody.